just made this. Just made this.
Hello, whoever's viewing. Also, I need to change this a little bit because don't need to see all of the channels on the side. That works. Kind of. Whoa, what is going on there? There we go. All right. So, Hullbreacher ban.
Crazy times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Did,
I hate to say that it was something that you can probably see coming from a long way, but you probably saw that coming from a long way.
I was gonna just ask that if any of you actually saw it coming. I didn't expect it. I did not expect the banning.
Now, it's kind of
No.
surprising being it's a Commander Legends set,
Yeah.
a set made for Commander players, and you ban a card from the set. It almost seems counterproductive, but in the end, you kind of understand what the reason is.
Yeah, it was definitely a super powerful card, but I don't think it was too good to be legal.
Yeah. I think it was one of those things where I bet one of the like rules committees got screwed over by it and they were like, you know what, that's it. We're banning it. I'm done. I don't want to deal with this anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Get
like
rid of it.
like Iona.
Somebody's nephew was whispering in somebody's ear, and it's like honestly, like you said, I can't think of one time I was hurt by that card.
Yeah.
And been like, the card's too good, get it out of here. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I
mean,
go
oh,
ahead.
sorry, go ahead.
I only ran it in actually 2 decks. One of them being my CDH deck, and another one being Xyrus, which makes a little sense there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I ran it in 3 decks. It was Locust God and Brawl and Shabraz, so 2 extremely heavy card draw decks, and then I think I had it in like a Obeka, just like weird put together stuff deck, but like it didn't really belong there. But
Yeah.
yeah, so,
Yeah, same. I had it in a Tydale Elegith heavy draw deck, and I just put that card in the deck and never got to play it. So I'm a little bit disappointed with it that it
Yeah.
kind of got banned before I was able to play it.
That happened
But,
to me.
you know,
I bought, so I'm trying to foil out my CDH deck, and I bought the full art foil of Hullbreacher like a couple months ago and never had a chance to actually cast the card. Yep.
not full art, but it is foil. I mean, I like
Yeah.
so I'm on the stance of like I'm in the middle. So like I know we were
Right.
trying to figure out like
Yeah.
who's for it, who's against it, and like I talked about it. I posted a video on our channel yesterday, a couple hours after it came out, where like I don't agree with most bannings. Like I don't think you should be banning a ton of things like left and right. This one I agree like came out of nowhere. It seemed like no one was talking about Hullbreacher. Like
No.
who's complained about Hullbreacher in the last 3 months? Like nobody. Well, I mean a lot of people have, but I don't hear it. But so like I get it. I understand why it was banned. Do I agree that it was banned? No, but I understand why it was banned. Like
Right.
that there's a feel bad moment, and for me, and I said it in the video we posted, there's a lot of games where I just held it in my hands and I never played it because it was like I'm gonna piss off everybody, they're gonna concede right away, or it's just gonna be a feel bad moment, and I didn't want that, especially like when we stream games.
Yeah.
Like we want to make the games entertaining and fun, where it's like, okay, cool, I can just end the game now or not cast Hullbreacher, and I would just usually choose not to cast it. So for me, again, I don't agree with the banning, but I get I get it.
Yeah, it's one of those cards that I think like Rule 0 should be really applied to it as opposed to it
Oh,
being
yeah.
banned. Like stacks cards. A lot of people just don't play stacks inside their play groups. Like Winter Orb I think is a more powerful card generically in Commander. Like I think you can put in Winter Orb like similarly will end the game, but it doesn't need another card.
The difference with that, though, to me at least, is that Winter Orb doesn't let you play the game as much. The Hullbreacher just stops you from drawing cards. And I, like you said, Rule 0. I already told my play group, you want to run it to your heart's content.
Yeah.
I don't care.
But-
No one here is gonna bust your chops about it. And the same thing with what were you saying, Corey, about feel bad.
Yeah.
You know why you stop feeling bad? If someone lightning bolted, swords it. Get rid of the whole. Like, if you know, like same thing with like I personally, I don't think, for the most part, there should be any bans. You want to run Grizzlebrain as your commander? Knock yourself out. I'm gonna hold this Swords of Plowshare. I'm gonna hold this Curse of the Swine. I'm gonna hold any piece of removal in my hand, so you can spend your 7 mana to cast that big dumb commander. And then I gotta pay 9. And I gotta pay 11. So.
I agree 100% with that. Like the only banning that's happened even like the only banning that I can really get behind that I was around when it was banned is Flash. I'm happy that got banned just because power level wise it homogenized CEDH like to an incredible amount. I feel like the best way to ban an EDH is still based on power level, even though it's a casual format, as opposed to feels bad levels.
Yeah, and I think it was definitely a feels bad. Like, it was more feels bad than power.
100%.
Why they got rid of it.
100%. I agree with that. Like,
It's tough to walk. It's tough to walk that line though, because it's like there was a game I was playing when like Commander Legends had first come out, and it was, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks right after, and I was playing a game on someone's stream, and I won't say like names or anything, but someone wheeled, and I was like, well, when I have it, might as well, and I played it, and the person was like, all right, I quit. And I'm like, just like, I don't know, can I swear here?
yeah, it's fine.
Like, they X'd out of the screen, gone, just disappeared into the fucking atmosphere. They were gone.
Oh my god.
And like, I felt terrible. I was like, I didn't want to ruin that. I didn't mean to ruin that
Yeah.
person's night. Like, I just had the card, and like, okay, this makes sense.
It's
If you casting that card makes their night ruined, they've got a good life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a piece of cardboard. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm gonna go cry to my pillow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just felt real bad. Like, it was stupid. Like, I mean, it wasn't stupid. It was they just, I don't know, I guess they just didn't enjoy it. But yeah, it like ruined the rest of the, like, the whole mood for the rest of the game.
Yep.
Was just like, okay.
Who doesn't know that one guy in your playgroup? Who doesn't know that one guy that's just going to be extra salty about everything? And like, that must have just been that guy.
Oh yeah.
I got
yeah.
the funniest story
Yeah.
related to that. It's me and my friends went to Magic Fest in Providence before like COVID happened, and like there was a competitive. You were
And we
there?
didn't know you. We're from Providence.
Oh
We're
my
from
God.
Rhode Island.
Oh my god, that would have been great.
Sorry, go ahead.
Next time.
It was me. That was me in the story now.
So we're doing like the commander tournament thing, like the whatever free play commander, but like there's prize support. And one of the people in the group that I was playing with was playing a Boros mass land destruction deck. I personally do not care about mass land destruction. I'm fine with it. I have a mass land destruction deck. I just don't play it unless I'm with a group that's okay with it. And so this guy was playing the game, and he got out a Avacyn, so all of his permanents have indestructible. And one of my friends was in the pod with us, and he cast Gilded Drake, stole the Avacyn, and the guy playing Mass Land Destruction scooped to that.
Yeah.
And he was just swearing up a storm. He was so upset.
That actually could have been one of the guys from our channel. he hates when stuff gets stolen or land destruction. He will walk out. He will leave the room.
But he was the
and
one
we won't
playing
see
the
him.
land destruction, and
Oh, okay,
he
then it definitely
scooped
wasn't him.
because the thing that made his lands indestructible was stolen.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even like in
Exactly.
response to any mass land destruction. He just upped and left.
I've gotten salty at games, but never salty enough to where I have to rage quit. I'll let the game just play out usually how it is, and just next game.
There's a-
Next game you play the
There's a
better deck.
video
Yeah.
There's a video on my channel where I bleeped out all the audio because I said some horrendous things. And then I dubbed over it. It's where like all night my friends were picking at me. And then like after game 4, I just lost my shit completely. And it was just like I went on like a fucking 3-minute tirade. And I didn't know my friend was a creep, and he like recorded it on his phone.
Oh my
and
god.
sent it to me. He's like, "You remember when you did this?" I'm like, "Oh, you're a classy guy." Because then like a couple years earlier, probably like 2 years earlier, he recorded me when I was drunk out of my mind. I didn't know, and so like, but my tirade was so bad. It was so bad.
Oh
I
no.
think we've probably all had though. I mean, for me, like my worst saltiness moment, and I'll never forget it, is I was playing. I just made a Gishath deck, and I was like obsessed with it. I thought it was the coolest deck in the world. And my buddy, who got us into Magic, and I feel terrible, He got us into the game. He kept stealing my dinosaurs, and that's my biggest pet peeve is when you take my stuff. I hate it. I do it to people constantly, so it's a bit of a like catch-22. But like I hate when people steal my permanents. And he kept stealing my dinosaurs, and I remember he would be like, "All right, I'm gonna take control of this." And I at the first I was like, "Okay, here you go," sliding him over. He just kept doing it and doing it and doing it, and by the end I was like gambit throwing my cards at him. Like I felt so. I was like, "Oh, you want this dinosaur? There." And I was like, I was that jerk. Just like, fine, here you go. And yeah, same thing. Like you just get into that like rage, that like moment.
Yeah.
And that was it for me. Just like I couldn't believe I was literally ninja star throwing cards at my friend. And I felt really bad.
Right.
He's a friend. We're good. We're good. We've since buried the hatchet on the ninja star throwing. I gotta pick up my cards because now I just throw cards all over the floor.
We got someone in chat. My saltiest moment. Oh, it was my buddy Ian. My saltiest moment was I was in a Melee tournament and I lost in the finals and I punched my opponent's hand instead of fist bumping and walked away.
That's assault, sir.
It was his friend though, so it was okay.
Oh, okay.
That's fine. Just like the ninja star, you can get away with it when it's your friend.
Yes. I'm trying to think what my saltiest moment was. There was definitely times where I, like, instead of scooping, I would just leave the table and have whoever was sitting next to me just take over for me.
Yep.
And it's like, all right, I'm done with this game. You can finish the game off with my deck. I'm going to go over there for a little bit.
I think that's the best. Removing yourself is the best way to, like, if you get that mad, just walk away.
Yeah.
Either concede, walk away, whatever. Don't physically assault your friends. But
And we had a game where guys got mad enough to where they hated somebody out of a game. That was kind of rough.
That happens to me I would say during a night that we're playing games, if we play like 4 or 5 games, at least 2 of those games, I'm going to be 3v1ing for at least part of the game or a decent portion of the game.
A friend of mine told me that sometimes our games are uncomfortable because of another friend of mine, Swole Jesus. So just imagine Jesus, but like really buff. Swole Jesus. Apparently he and I have an eternal blood feud. So it's 1v1 v2, and so it's like whoever knocks me or Jesus out first, the other two have to pick up the scraps. And my friend's like, it's kind of uncomfortable because the game dynamic is a little weird. You guys play together.
I feel like those are the best things. Though. Eddie and I and one of the other guys on our channel, we have the same thing where it's like it doesn't matter what the optimal play is. We're gonna go after one of another. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
There's no reason for it, but we just attack each other and screw with each other so much. It's become like a running joke on the channel. Like every time there's a gameplay, it's like Eddie and Corey are gonna kill each other first, and the other 2 players can win. Like that's all it is.
That's so funny.
We have a similar thing where it's like Suave. I try my best to not attack him first because he's like one of the better player of our group, and he wins a lot of majority of our games. And I always try to keep I'm gonna try to play fair and play the board, but then eventually you get in part of the games like, okay, screw it, we're going for him.
I will say that one of my favorite plays ever was Manatizing Soul Jesus' Soul Ring. Yes.
Oh, that is a hilarious play.
I know. I think you might be familiar with it, Corey. But are either of you two familiar with the Book of Grievances?
The Book of Grievances, no.
So my playgroup has each person has a Book of Grievances, and it's basically like if someone really tilts you, you write it down, and then you have free reign to like avenge that betrayal. And my whole book is just Swole Jesus, except for like, my friend Brennan recently stopped me from killing Swole Jesus, and I'm like, why are you doing this? Let me kill it. Let me have my vengeance. And so he went in the Book of Grievances. It has a name. It literally has a date, a name, what they did, and then when you got your revenge for whatever play it was. Oh, where'd he go?
Oh, no.
Oh, we lost him.
Uh-oh.
Our weird Brady Bunch thing, he's gone. I don't know.
Yeah.
He was over there, now he's not there.
For me, it was over there.
He's there.
Took him
What
back.
was it? The
He got
thing,
so mad he tilted out.
yeah. The thing that tilts me the most during Magic, like playing the game, is 100% when people do do bad threat assessment. Like bad threat assessment, because whenever it's bad threat assessment, it's always me that gets the bad end of it. Like I'm always the one that gets targeted when it's. Oh.
I will tell you the exact story. So on Saturday we were playing, and I was playing Estrid, and my other friend had the mono blue commander Teferi out, and every single person killed my Estrid, while the Teferi was untapping all its permanents. I'm like, do you not see that that card does the exact same thing you're killing my commander for? It's the exact same fucking thing, but Estrid costs 4.
Yep.
I had to pay 12. I think it was 12 the last time I cast her. And it was like the longest, grindiest game I've played in a long time. I'm like, my commander costs 12 mana because you assholes let this guy run free with the fairy.
Yep. Like, opponent has clear combo piece in play, and I'm still the one getting attacked. Awful.
Yeah. For me, it's when there's like a player who's like, well, I have nothing to do tomorrow. Let's make this game go a little longer. And then instead of killing a player, they do like the Dirtle thing or like the bad threat assessment. Like, cool, instead of blowing up that Clark Clan Ironworks that's going to win you the game, let's get rid of Corey's Ristic Study. Like, come on.
Yep.
We're going to be here for 4 more hours.
Yeah, my friend Speedy has like some really wild decks, and it's like a 12-piece combo. But you can see the little pieces ticking along. But meanwhile, like, they'll blow up my, fucking Llanowar elves. I'm just like, every fucking game goes the same way. Speedy sets up this giant board, and then all of a sudden he's like, oh, this thing does this thing interacts with this happens, and I win. And I call it aw shucks magic. It's like, oh, I think I win. Oh, aw shucks, I win. It's like, everyone knows
high score, is that good?
About it, huh?
He's like, oh, high score, is that good? High score, that's good.
Yeah.
We've got another comment inside the chat talking about Ian saying what his saltiest moment that he's seen was, and when another person that was on the channel, in my channel before, his name's Jorge, he force of willed Ian's Wall of Omens, and then strip mined Ian, and then wastelanded Ian.
Sounds terrible.
Yeah, that's pretty awful.
A rough day. You're gonna have a rough time.
Should probably look a little bit at the. Oh, what?
I had this game one time. I was playing along with somebody. It was like me and 2 other guys. The guy got salty at me for playing because he played a Nar set that your opponents aren't allowed to draw 1 card.
Mm-hmm.
And the other guy was wrecking house, and he was like, "Dude, you gonna do anything?" I'm like, "I can't do anything. I'm drawing 1 card. I have the ability to, put up a draw engine. Your Narset is kind of nerfing that right now, man.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't be mad at me for not being able to play when I can't draw nothing."
The thing with people who play cards like salt-inducing cards is they want that reaction. And I think when you take that ability of them to get a reaction out of people, it triggers them. And they're like, I came here to piss people off, and I can't piss people off, so now I'm mad.
Yeah. It's true. He's not wrong.
I'm a little worried with the Hullbreacher banning that they're going to go ahead and start banning more and more of these like salt-inducing cards.
I couldn't agree with you
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
I was kind of curious of whether or not it's like the other card that kind of ran partner with it that was part of a lot of conversation was opposition agents. Like, well, they done did, Hullbreacher, and that was one of the games that we had that we have on the channel where one of the guys got hated out because he played an opposition agent, even though it literally did nothing the whole game. He got hated out for that one card.
Opposition agent doesn't do much.
No.
No.
The difference with opposition agent and Hullbreacher is a table wide effect. Like, it affects if you played at the right point, you ruin everybody's game.
Yeah.
Where with opposition agent, like you wait for the opportune moment to get something from one person, and then at that point, once it's already out, then everyone can deal with it. And like, okay, before anyone's like, you can avoid opposition agent shenanigans.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree
You wanna do
because
it the right way.
unless and it really only hurts you if you require to search your deck a lot. And I've got a few decks myself that I don't need to search for anything, and so. But yeah, I agree. Yeah, definitely Hullbreacher is the bigger thorn, but
Yeah. Opposition agent, unlike Hullbreacher, can't combo with a card to kind of put your opponents out of the game. That's the biggest thing. Like, and a card like Wheels are just so abundant that it's just very easy to get that off, which is definitely the main reason why it got the boot. But
Which
and I
is-
get the purpose of the background of what I've heard of how Hullbreacher was made for was kind of more defensive, especially if you're playing like a mono blue or a Sultai or a Simic deck, where if you have a lot of draw, you can stop others from drawing. You draw mostly, but yeah, with the whole wheel and everything, people turning it around, making it more offensive. I could definitely see
Yeah.
that.
it was made to be a hate bear, but it became a combo piece that works similarly to like a one-sided Armageddon almost, just because it's just complete resource denial.
yeah, and if you do it early enough too, like you can just completely shut everyone out. Like,
Yeah, you can do
if
it
you
turn
do it on,
3,
like-
pretty easy.
turn 3, do it on someone's end step, and then on your main phase wheel, like it's done. And then you have 27 treasure, or like what if you had 7 cards?
Yeah,
To 27 treasures and a full grip to just ruin house. Like
yep,
I'd be like, all right, cool. Like next game, let's go.
yeah.
Like,
I mean,
not even worth it.
that would be pretty much game ending, but it still doesn't seem like it should be ban worthy to me.
Yeah,
If it's one of those cards, like if you play it and it's just to be an asshole, that's one thing. But if you play it and you win, then that makes sense to me. Like if you can play,
Yes.
if you play it, drop it down. Next turn you win. Fuck it, let's move on. Let's play another game.
Yep,
I got you in my sights now.
that's
Whatever. But if you're just playing it just to be that guy, just to like you said, just a dirtle, that's a whole other story.
That's my exact
Sure.
same position on mass land destruction too. If
Yeah.
you use it to
No.
win the game, all for it. If you're just using it because you have nothing better to do,
yeah. It's that person who makes the game go for 4 more hours.
Yeah.
Like, I got nothing better to do.
My wife
Gotta
just
blow
left me.
everything.
I got nowhere to
Yeah.
go.
Totally ridiculous.
I
Yeah.
I'm very very big proponent for little to no bans in the ban list though. Like the less cards on the ban list, the better for, in my opinion. I gotta
Look, you
move this a little
you
bit.
can freely play Stasis, but this Hullbreacher is like, nah, son, just get it out of here. Like I'm old enough to remember playing against Stasis in Type 1, and that was brutal. I grew up by hell. I played a Geddon deck when I was a kid in Type 1, and that was backbreaking. And this is like, whatever. You can't draw more than one card. I get it, but
They're way worse. They're way worse hate bear. Like I think
Yeah.
Blood Moon is worse than Hullbreacher.
Oh,
I
I
hate
agree with
Blood
that.
Moon. That card
Right.
can die, can rot in hell.
exactly. So just to speak to your point, Dingus, where does it stop? People are aggrieved because they can't play their fancy lands. Oh, ban Blood Moon. I mean, just run a disenchant, run something, run more basics, whatever. I don't give a shit. Play whatever card you want to play.
Yeah.
Like we let my boy Carlitos play a Gyra deck, but with blue. I personally hated playing against it because it was wildly outside of the realm of anything. Like, it's if you add any color to any commander, it's going to be 10 times more powerful. But I let it go because no one else had a problem with it. Like, all right, fuck it, play your stupid blue Gyra deck, whatever. And it was silly, and he didn't win that often with it, but it was just like it was a gimmick. It's like,
Yeah.
I didn't care about that. I don't care about you play Hullbreacher, you play whatever you want. It's up to me to have a response to it. It's up to me to like build a better deck so that I can deal with whatever problem you got.
That seems like a very fun concept to try doing too. Just making decks by like adding a color, if not just to try it out for a little bit. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Carlitos is he's a Mexican Escha. He's a Mexican Swole Jesus, and his decks do not mess around. It's just like, and he gets mad when you like target. It's like, I know who you are, man. I played against you before. You're a fucking Mexican Swole Jesus. And I don't think they've ever actually played against each other, which I really would like to see, because they're both like really laser focused to the point where some of their decks aren't even fun because like they're gonna have land drops every fucking turn. You know they're gonna have answers for your stuff. You know they're gonna have nothing but draw and things to do. But when you win against them, you feel like $1,000. You feel like you just you know had sex with your high school crush's mom. I don't know. You feel great,
That
but they're
wouldn't, that wouldn't
Go
be a
on.
good thing for me. I would not. That's
I'm
hilarious.
not saying 30 years down the line. I'm saying back in 30 years.
Yeah, right. Right.
Maybe you're into that. I don't know. I don't judge.
The song "Stacy's Mom" has a whole different
Yeah,
meaning.
that's
Kevin.
exactly what I was thinking.
Talking about that.
So, what do you think? What do you think this means for cards like Narset and not Opposition Agent? What's the other
Notion
one? Notion
Thief.
Thief. Like, are now? Do we think those now have crosshairs on them, or like? Because that article said like those are a bit more tolerable,
Yeah,
but similar ideas. Like
I think
that's. I mean,
I think that
It's gonna go away with
Narset.
the way of the community. Sorry, I think it's just go away with the community. If I think if there's enough volume behind people complaining, then if someone's cousin's whispering in their ear,
Not entirely depends on if Sheldon goes against one of them and just has a bad time.
yeah.
But actually, Narset's I think more likely to get a banning than Notion Thief would be. I don't think either of them will. But
Yeah,
Notion
same.
Thief being in blue and black, I mean, like most of the wheels tend to be in red. There's a good number in
Yep.
blue, but not enough that it's as redundant.
Yeah.
So I think that'll make it a little fairer. But I think Narset's fine though. I think they're both fine. I think Hullbreacher's fine.
date stamp this video July 13th about 7 o'clock Central. We'll see what happens in a year.
Yeah.
God willing.
Yeah, right. All
I-
wheels are banned. Narset's banned.
I was so worried that when the first statement came out from Sheldon that he was monitoring these cards, I was very worried they were just going to ban wheels out of the format.
Yeah. Oh, the
Because
same exact thing. Because he had that article where he was like, "Yeah, wheels are a bit problematic." It's like, well, are they? They're not really. Like,
No.
if you
Wheels only usually affect one player. Three of the four players at the table are like, sweet, I get a new grip. This hand sucks.
if you go onto
Yeah.
EDH Rec and look at themes, the most popular themes on EDH Rec, number 4 is wheels. That'd be the fourth most popular theme getting axed.
I love
Should have been playing games with somebody wheeled, and the other people are like, "Oh, thank you so much."
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
so
one of my favorite decks is like two of my favorite decks are wheel decks.
Mhm.
Like my Locust God and Brawl and Shabazz. Those are
Yep.
two of my favorite decks. They would done. They'd be done. Well, they wouldn't be done, but like
Yeah,
they
Locust
would be severely hampered or tampered.
Locust God is one of my first decks, and that was probably the deck I put one of the most hours into actually playing. And the only reason it's still not around is because I turned it into Xyrus because I like I like Teamer.
Yeah.
But like, if they just continue to start banning just these salt-inducing cards, like if you go onto EDH Rec, saltiest cards stuff, like it's mostly stack stuff, but like Expropriate is number 3 on that list. That
Better not.
yeah, they better not ban
Better.
Expropriate.
That is my favorite. Like if someone was like, "Tell me your favorite card," gun to my head, like Expropriate. I have so many of those cards. I bought so many of them. Like there's probably 3 in that stack right there. There's one in like 3 decks down there. Like I love that card.
It's a
Please,
great card.
listen to me, please do not ban Expropriate. I love that card.
It's like one of the better like game-winning cards at that mana. Like Expropriate and Insurrection are kind of on that same level there, and also currently on the ban list that should definitely come off the ban list in that same realm. Biorhythm and
Yep.
Coalition Victory.
1,000 mana.
Yeah,
Cast it, sure.
Like,
Biorhythm
at that point,
is so dumb
at
that it's
that point, if you're casting that, like you deserve to win.
yeah.
You're good. You're good.
Like I just want Coalition Victory to be unbanned because I want to play that so badly.
I don't even know what that one does.
Coalition Victory is 5 mana, 1 of each color, and then an additional 3 colorless.
Oh, yeah.
You win the
yeah.
game if you control a land of each basic land type, which is pretty easy, and then a creature of each color. So if somebody uses removal while you cast Coalition Victory, then that
So hard
kills
to
it.
get off.
Yeah. Like someone
Sorry, good.
Strip Mine stops it, Counterspell stops it, and any removal spell stops it.
I will say that I had a strip mine out, and I probably should have used it, but the field bads stopped me from using it the other day. Like I lost the damn game because I felt bad for this guy because he didn't have any lands for so many turns, and then it was 1v1. I got rid of the other two players, and he still had the mana problems. And I was like, I could use this, and I'll probably win. But then I'd never met the guy until that night. And I was like, let's let it ride. And I goofed because I had tunnel vision. I wanted the victory. I ended up dying to a fucking guilt feeder.
Oh my god.
Because I let him cast it. I'm like, okay, I then it passed. Okay, cool. I cast Furnace of Wrath, attacked, and I'm like, what does Guild Feeder do? Oh fuck, I'm dead.
Yeah.
But if I would have strip mined one of his lands like 3 turns earlier, I probably would have won.
Yeah,
But I felt bad because he was struggling for so long. I wanted to let him play.
the last time I played my lands deck, I was at my LGS, which they typically play relatively low. Like on Saturdays, they do CEDH for the most part, and on Sundays, they do pretty casual EDH. And I wouldn't say my lands deck is not CEDH, but I got to a really good board state to the point where I could pretty much strip mine lock the whole table by being able to replay strip mine. I think I was able to do it 6 times a turn. And so what I did was I would just use the strip mine on my own lands to get extra landfall triggers and stuff like that. Like I just had to avoid that because I would have been everyone would have been very salty.
Yeah, I think that's another argument that comes up with bannings, especially too, and like everyone, we all just kind of had like a feel bad story too. Like, at what point does the feel bads kind of take over what the optimal play line would be? Like, like Kevin not strip landing that mine, me not playing Hullbreacher when I should have because it would have gotten me ahead. Like that's the gray area you get into with bannings, because are you banning it because it feels bad, or are you banning it because it's too powerful?
Yeah.
And
you were playing another stream and you targeted something else and you changed your mind because you didn't want to piss off the host.
Yeah.
You son of a bitch.
It happens, man. You don't want to.
No, truth be told, it's worse online because when you play with other streamers, you play with other people who produce content. You don't want to be that asshole that doesn't get invited next week.
Yeah.
Now I remember what you're talking. You're talking about the MTG lexicon thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't forget. I ran into my vault, you bastard.
Oh really? Sorry, man. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, dang! What were you saying?
I say, yeah, it's one of those things where somebody hired or brings you on the first time on their stream, you beat the mess out of them, like, yep, never again.
Well, I think that's a rule zero conversation for like streamers and content creators. Like,
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right, can we like, here we go, like, let's do it, or are you trying to play nice?
It's like Command Clash, how they have like the Command Clash has their own house bans, so
Yeah.
you just don't play those cards when they're playing.
Like, just to speak to what we're talking about field beds. When I was a freshman in high school, it's story time, Corey.
Oh yeah.
I went to my girlfriend at the time's house, and I was beating the snot out of her brother in fucking Mortal Kombat. And like, I'm like, oh no, your brother's gonna start crying, and we're not gonna make out. So then I like took it easy and just like, okay, just you beat me. Oh, good job, kid.
You got your priorities in order.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And you want to go back to that house later and get to second base, but you won't if you make her brother cry. Like, I don't want to make.
I don't want to see him because he embarrassed me in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to piss off the guys at MTG Lexicon and kill his shit so they don't invite me back. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Oh man, crazy times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do agree though that I think a lot of the complaining has a lot to do with lack of interacting with cards. I know I hear a lot of people saying that you need to interact more, and that's probably a lot of what it is people, especially if you're in your own personal play group, you should almost know what everybody's playing, because if you're like my play group, we're constantly talking about, hey, I'm gonna put this in my deck. Hey, I'm gonna put this in my deck. And if you know somebody that has that card in their deck, I guess it's almost like meta decking towards your play group. But you need to have some kind of preparation for interacting with them. I mean, it's kind of hard to when you're playing against other people, but you almost with well-known cards like Hullbreacher, you almost need to have that in the back of your mind. They're playing blue. That should be almost an automatic. Hey, they possibly have this. I need to make sure I have that interaction with it.
The problem with that is just Hullbreacher being like 3 mana with flash, so you can just flash in at the end step, next turn, wheel. That makes it a lot more difficult to metagame with, and
So
just be
versatile.
careful with. Yeah, so it really depends on the power level that your group is at, because you'll see these salt-inducing cards. The higher the power level goes to a certain point, and then they're just not good anymore. Maybe at above an 8, it's not good, but 8 to 6, they're very powerful. And so you just kind of have to be ready when you're in those zones. Like Hullbreacher, though, is one of the ones that's played in 10s, but
Yeah.
it's not broken in 10s. It does a lot more work inside of the lower, the 6 to 8s. That's where it does the more scary things.
Well, and I do agree too about trying to not meta deck, but you want to be prepared for everything. Build your deck. You want to have answers. You want to have removal, counter spells. If you're in blue, those colors, whatever.
Mhm.
I think with EDH, it's a lot tougher than another format like standard or modern or anything like that. You don't have a sideboard. You don't have things you can sideboard
Right.
in. Especially when we were talking about playing online, I may only play one game with it. If I go on to that random matchmaking thing, I may only play one game with that group. I'm not going to be playing multiple, and then if they have something I can't handle, then I'm just kind of screwed.
Yeah.
But I do agree. You do want to be prepared, and come to the table with answers for something. My one of my biggest deck weaknesses, I think, is I don't run a lot of interaction. Like you were saying, interaction is really important. I when I build a deck, I very much get into the thing what I want my deck to do versus reacting to what other people want to do, and then I get screwed. I get so screwed. Where it's cool, I put 18 card draw spells in my deck because Locust God wants to draw cards. I put no counter spells in. I put no removal. I just go heavy into that. So I think that's another thing, deck building and making sure you're prepared for those situations with Hullbreacher or Notion Thief or Armageddon, whatever. You do want to be prepared, but with EDH, it's tough sometimes to always be prepared for everything.
Right.
And I think that's one of the things we need to learn. I'm a casual EDH player. I don't play CEDH. I have one CEDH deck and I never play it because I'm terrible at it. But as a casual, it's awful. But
Yeah.
as a casual EDH player, I want to have fun, but also you got to be ready for those scenarios. But also you don't want to dive too deep into it. So it's a weird balance that we may not always hit sometimes.
For me, the decks that I really want to be as thematic as possible, and I've got an Atraxa Saproling Fungus Tribal deck, and it's all about the whatever they're called, the weird funguses that you put spore counters on them, all of those, and it's got very little removal in it. It's not good interaction wise, but whenever I go up to a 7 or an 8 in power level, I start cutting the more on theme cards to add in extra removal. You can just power up a deck by adding more interaction. So whenever I go anywhere to play, I try to have decks with within every power level range. So I can just sit down at the table and ask, what decks are you guys playing? What's the power level looking like? So I can try to match it. And some of my decks I actually have alternate win cons in, so I can kind of play it in a more competitive setting and a less competitive setting. Like my Riku deck, I've got you can combo with it with Palancron and Sneak Attack and stuff like that. But the core of it is more of a clones, tribal, ETB value stuff, and it wins with Biovisionary if I'm in a lower power pot. I'll just switch to trying to win that way and not even cast Palancron.
I think I have 4 good decks. I never play them. I never play them. They sit there and I have Atali, Windgrace, Kestia, and Slimefoot.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my 4 good decks, and I play them so little that it's to the point where why are they I don't like I said the feel bads. Like I remember I was playing my friend 1v1 with the Tally, and I turned 2 to Tally with haste, and I was like, he literally said, let me play a Tally. I was like, all right, man, you want to? Sure, whatever you want to do, bro. Turn 2 a Tally, boom, boom, boom. I won like on turn 5. And like, this is what you asked for. I feel like an asshole, but
Yeah.
You wanted this.
You asked for this.
and so it's a weird dichotomy where you build these like you said, you build these decks that you invest time in, and you invest like thinking, and you invest your fucking money in,
Yeah.
and then they sit on a shelf and you never play them because you don't want to be that guy who is just making everybody feel like a piece of garbage.
I don't even know the last time I played my mass land destruction deck is Lavinia. I don't even know the last time I played that deck. And there is like that deck I would probably play like if I didn't bring a CDH deck with me, but people are playing very high powered decks, that's where I would play that deck. And there's a lot of like money cards in there. Like I've got a land equilibrium in there. I've got Mana Crypt. I've got Ravages of War, all that stuff. But it doesn't see hardly any play, and I don't want to take it apart because if I do, I don't have any decks that those cards could actually go in otherwise. Like I'm not going to throw Armageddons into random decks. So
that's me with my I've since taken it apart, but I had a Golos extra turns deck, and you're basically playing solid. I get it. Like I have a deck tech up on the channel where it's like the disclaimer is like people are gonna hate you. They're not gonna have fun because you're playing by yourself. Like when you play an extra turns deck that's dedicated to only playing extra turn cards. Like there was one game, I think I got up to like I had 28 consecutive turns, and you're just playing solitaire. You're just like, cool, all right, I'm gonna do this to cast an extra turn spell to then attack, and then okay, my next extra turn I'm gonna do this attack. Okay, my next extra turn, and like by the time you're done, everyone like literally it's just like middle fingers like pointed at you like they hate you. So yeah, it's that sense of like feel bads, and I ended up just taking it apart, and it's the same issue that you were saying. Like I don't know where to put half of these cards. Like I had dual lands in that. Well, dual lands go anything, but like I had dual lands in that deck. But like Kevin said, you invest money into these things.
Oh yeah.
Like dual lands, time stretches, expropriates. Like those aren't cheap cards. Those are decently priced cards that like I don't like to proxy either. So like I will buy them.
That's what I do.
And like I just took it apart because it's like cool. Like it's an awesome deck and it's very consistent. But you know people just don't want to play against it, and I understand that. And for me, it was like, cool, it's better to just take it apart and say farewell.
Yeah. I would recommend personally throwing those cards into Yannette,
That's what it was. It was a Yannette deck that turned into Golos extra turns.
Yeah, I have the Yannette extra turns deck, and luckily with Yannette, like with that deck, there's a lot of ways to make it so the game ends a lot faster. Like it only takes like 3 or 4 turns. Or you can just like use combo pieces like Isochron Scepter with Mystical Tutor on it to put Nexus of Fate on over and over, and people will just concede to that because you have the win. It's on board.
Oh yeah, and that's what generally would happen. Oh no, I was gonna say that would generally like you would get to like 3 extra turns with Golos, and people would be like, okay, we're done. Like, let's just move on.
The problem I have with decks like that is it's why I took my Locust God deck apart, and the way I took my Catherall deck apart. Because it played the same time, the same way every game. Like Locust got his wheel, Locust, whatever the hell, Impact Tremors. It was the same game. I took Catherall apart because it was always the same thing. Buried Alive, the same 3 creatures. Cast Catherall, he's a giant beater, swing for face, he's indestructible, whatever the hell. You're done. And that's why I tried to build like. Not even interactive, the decks that win differently every time. Because I don't want the same line of play every single time. And that's probably why I don't play Slimefoot as much as I do, because Slimefoot infects. And
it's infect.
I feel like an asshole. And the funny thing is, because last time I think the very last time I played Slimefoot, I won by infect, and because it had grafted exoskeleton on it. The very next week, my friend Edward came over, and he put grafted exoskeleton on Rurik Thar. And he killed me. And he's like, well, I learned that from you, bro, so don't get mad at me.
I learned it from watching you, Kevin.
Yeah.
That's funny. Infect's fine. That's another thing people get real salty about. It's like
Infect's not even
Dude,
good in
Infect
Commander.
deck. Yeah, like they pull an Infect deck, and everyone's like, "We gotta kill them right now." Like, no, you don't.
There's only,
Let them flounder while they
Yeah.
try to kill everybody.
there's only two good Infect cards, being Skittles and Triumph of the Hordes. Triumph of the Hordes being just like a miniature Crater Hoof.
Yeah, just killed everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried making my Yawgmoth deck into kind of a pseudo infect deck, and I can never get that to work right. I even had Ichor Rats and all that.
People get scared. They're like, "I'll kill him."
The cards with Infect just aren't good. It's not like the mechanic's just not good in a multiplayer format, and like a lot of just the Infect cards are just pretty weak. Like a 5/3 with Trample and Haste and Infect, it's gonna die, and then you have to find another creature out, get another creature out that's just a vanilla with Infect.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think Infect would be a lot more. We would see it a lot more if the Infect number was raised in Commander from like 10 to 20. Because then then you got to really, I mean, you have to work for it regardless. But like then I feel like people wouldn't target it as quickly if there was more of a buffer between when you die from Infect. Whereas like when it's 10, even if you have a shitty Infect deck or whatever, you're playing against a bad Infect deck. People immediately like they just target them so fast. And they just don't have a chance.
I think the most likely time we ever see Infects actually see like real, like a lot of Commander plays if there's a decent Infect Commander that can get poison counters on people without having to deal combat damage.
Yep. Yeah. I.e. Atraxa.
Yeah, Traxa. But like you still have to get in damage with some dirtily.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's the other 4-color one?
Saskia.
Oh,
Saskia.
Saskia. Oh, that's kind of a
Saskia
cool
was a big
one.
one.
That's kind of a cool one
Yeah.
for it.
That was my one Infect deck was Saskia, and then it was the same thing. Everyone just targeted me first. I was like, okay, I'm done.
Yep.
I don't want to play this anymore.
Yep.
All good. So
Yeah. People take shit to heart, and they don't forget. It's like what the super bad. Like people don't forget, man. Like if you get spanked by one deck, oh no, a mystery guest.
Oh, that's
all
Connor.
right, it's Sheldon Menery himself. He's playing.
Just hopping in.
It's Sheldon's cousin who got picked up by Hullbreacher. He's here to say why, what happened.
If he unmutes himself.
I love. Really quick, I just want to let everybody know. I just tried to take a sip out of an empty cup. Like 100% knew it was empty, and I still went through the whole motion of like, okay, here we go. Like nothing.
Now you parched.
I'm so tired.
Yeah.
Who is this? I'm so curious.
It's one of the guys that helps, like, does a lot of gameplay stuff with me on my channel. His name's Connor. I just don't know why he's just muted and not there,
He's
though.
lurking.
He's just lurking in it. Oh, he's talking now. Hi, Connor.
Camera off, lurking.
Nah, I just hate this band, so I wanted to see what everyone else thought about it.
Yeah, I think most of us are on the page. Yeah, it's kind of a mixed group on the band. I'm definitely against.
What are the people who are in favor of the band? Why do you support the band?
I'm in the middle. I feel like I'm one of the only ones here who's I wouldn't say I'm 100% in favor of it, but I wish there were no bans, just off the cuff, but like I get why it happened. 100% get why it happened. Feel bads suck. Just neutering people on turn 3 sucks. So I don't care. Like it's gone, good riddance. But at the same token, if it didn't get gone, I wouldn't complain. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm not that disappointed. I mean, I am a little bit disappointed only because I had it in a deck and I never got to play it. But other than that factor, I kind of watched pretty much what I did all day was watch everybody's take on the band and the reasoning, and I understand it. I kind of get it because I'm very much into the whole 100% super casual play instead of the whole, let's be competitive. It's about let's play the game, Yeah. So I get it. Am I in favor for it? I'm kind of like Corey. I'm indifferent of it. I'm not like hating on it, or I'm not like glad. It's whatever to me, honestly. I've never seen it in play myself. I never played against it. I was hoping to play it, but
no bans. Free girls, no ban.
Free Grizzlebrand.
Grizzlebrand should definitely never be
Real.
unbanned.
I bought a fucking Grizzlebrand when I first started playing Commander. My
Mhm.
friend's like, you know he's banned, right? And it fucking crushed my soul.
Yep, I bought
So what's it called?
Yawgmoth's Bargain.
I've recently gotten more involved in the no ban list EDH Discord, and after having been in there for about a month, I can safely say that Grizzlebrand should never come off of the ban list, considering that in a completely unbanned list format, Grizzlebrand, Flash are like two cards that should never. They enable too many degenerate things without requiring like deck building restrictions, which is why I have a problem with a lot of cards on the ban list. Because while they're powerful or they can lead to gameplay patterns that are like not favorable, a lot of them have deck building restrictions. With Hullbreacher, like, yeah, it's a brutally powerful card, but outside of wheel effects and outside of wheel effects basically is the only thing that really like trashes the card. It does have lots of deck building. It's basically just a defensive card.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
there's like 6 effects I could think of off the top of my head that truly turn it into an unfun card to play against.
I
But
mean,
outside of that, it just prevents your opponents from breaking parity by drawing more cards. Like, it's not actually like a hateful card.
so looking through EDH Rec here, because Wheels is the number 4 most popular archetype. I'm just gonna scroll through quickly and see how many wheels I can come across quick. We've
Well,
got
how many playable ones? Too?
alright.
I'm not talking about.
So many.
We got
Reforge the Soul is not like a great wheel.
Whispering Madness is meh. We got Windfall. We've got Dark Deal.
Let me grab my
Magus of the
Locust guy.
Wheel. Reforge the Soul. Should go to Instants and Sorceries. That's only one person.
Creative Defiance is a really good one. It's a sorcery from Eldritch Moon.
Okay. I actually
Yeah,
don't know that one.
So it's one of those escalate cards. So it's red, and a one red for sorcery with escalate 1. Choose one or more for each time you escalate. Target player discards all the cards in his or her hand, then draws that many cards.
Mhm.
So I mean that's more of a self wheel, but you could use it. You could use it as a weapon with Hullbreacher.
You've got all the cards
Adds to
like
the wheel.
you got all the cards like Emergency Power, Days Undoing, the one from MH1 that has that really sweet art, Echo of the Aeons, Wheel of Fate, which is bad, but Wheel of Fortune, of course, Time Reversal.
If you build a wheel deck like that,
Yeah, then it's
it's essentially becoming like a secret commander, or it's like your hidden commander.
it's your
whatever, in
combo
deck.
win. It's your combo win inside of a wheel deck, and that's I think the only archetype where it's an overpowered card.
And
Totally.
I think that like if that's how you're winning the game, what makes that different from any other game-winning combo?
Yeah, well, I mean, Thassa's Oracle is definitely a more degenerate card, in my opinion, than Hullbreacher. That's a card that I could.
Yeah, like you don't win turn 1 with Hullbreacher.
No.
You can literally win turn 1 to 3 consistently with Thassa's Oracle
Mhm.
if you build your deck to do so.
That's super CEDH.
That is
though, right?
definitely
Like,
super CDH.
Well, see, that's what people traditionally think, but there was recently a person on Reddit that entered a tournament with the intention of taking the worst blue-black X combination of commanders that they could find and entering it in a tournament. And outside of them misplaying because they were playing the tournament while they were exhausted, they should have won all 3 of the first 3 rounds against like other tier 1 decks like Tim Thrasios, Kraum, and Tevesh Zot. Like
Mhm.
legitimate tier 1 decks, and Thassa's Oracle just rolled over them.
The
And this is
problem
a
is,
list.
like, the vast majority of the cards on the ban list wouldn't be banned or wouldn't be played in CEDH, and they're just banned because they're unfun to play against, or they've just been on the ban list for so long. Like,
Which I think is fine because that makes the casual atmosphere better. But if you're playing Hullbreacher, I feel like by nature your deck doesn't really belong in a casual atmosphere anyway.
yeah,
I do agree with what somebody was saying today that they weren't against the banning, but I think that they might have been too soon because what they should have done is allow the community itself to kind of filter out how they feel about the card and let play groups determine whether that card is broken or not. Because even for my deck, I'm playing a Kaidel Elegith deck that's super draw, and I have nothing in the deck that is all me drawing, nobody else is drawing. But if I really wanted to put like Howling Mine and all the other cards that allow everybody to draw a card, then slap down a Hullbreacher and then that way, and turning a super casual deck into almost competitive way, which I kind of see it going. But they should have. I kind of agree. Yeah, they should have kind of let the community kind of filter out playing against that, and because usually a lot of people, when you get to a group of people, especially people you haven't played with, you talk about what your deck's running or you're playing. More likely, if somebody's running a Hullbreacher and somebody's played against enough, they're like, yeah, I'm gonna sit this one out. So
I think that CJ said it perfectly when on his stream last night. What is the point of Rule 0 if the RC isn't going to allow playgroups to regulate themselves?
Rule 0...
They're going to make bans to regulate before Rule 0 can take effect. Like, the precedent that it sets is, like, really scary for cards in the future.
Rule 0's like the rule in Commander that I think makes like one of the rule in Commander that I think that makes it as good of a format as it is, because people play decks based on what their friend group wants to play and what their play group wants to play. So they kind of work with each other, and it makes it more of a community. And Rule 0 is also the rule that I think the rules committee does not care about the most. The people doing the ban list just doesn't like acknowledge Rule 0 unless it's convenient for them. Like, most of the stuff on the ban list is Rule 0 stuff. Like, Iona, there's no reason it should be banned. And
I honestly think, like I said before, this format was built by people, and it was built by people who want to, like, hang out, have a drink or two, play an extended format type of game. But then as the format grew and as Wizards saw they can get more money out of it, more modern players, more standard players, more legacy players dripped into it, and they're so used to crying and getting cards banned that it went downhill.
Yep.
Like we played a game that was about an hour long the other day, and everyone was like, "This is a grindy game." Like, this game is how Commander is supposed to be. There are large, big dumb creatures. There's big plays. There's big turns. You're complaining about it. No one won in 20 minutes. That's a fucking regular game.
Yeah. There's no...
Yeah.
The average Commander game should be close to an hour, in my opinion. Like, if you're playing... If everyone...
We used to play till 8 in the morning.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
you know,
and we'd only end up
Commander
getting,
is a
like, 4
format where
games
you can sit
in.
down at the table and play a 10-person game and play a single game, and it's 5+ hours. I mean, come on now.
Yep. I mean, I have a deck that I don't think I've ever finished a game that went less than 3 hours when I play it. And it's a group hug deck that turns into a chaos deck. So it's got all these group hug elements for CMC like 4 and less, and then some big chaosy payoff stuff where everyone's just using each other's permanents, or you're like shuffling everything, like warp worlding or great auroraing over and over and over again. There was one time that we were playing and I got an Eye of the Storm in play, and using Eye of the Storm, Great Aurora resolved 6 times. Like, all 6 triggers on the stack. It was outrageous. But
have any of you guys seen the Command Zone video? What they said on the ban.
I watched
I
it
believe they
today.
released it late last night or
Yeah,
early this morning.
I watched it today, and
Yep.
it definitely like comes off as. I wasn't a fan with
Well,
like anything.
Well, there was one comment in there that really kind of irked me more than anything else they said.
Mhm.
Is that Josh is on the CAG,
Yes.
the advisory committee.
Oh
I know exactly
yes,
what
I
you're
know what you're gonna say
He
here.
literally said that there was no play testing that
Yep.
went into this ban.
He said that
Yep.
there is
Yeah,
no
that's
play
fine.
testing that happens when like with a ban. Like that kind of makes you think that previous bans too.
So where are they getting the freaking information? Like where is this coming from then?
Somebody's ugly cousin.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
got to be someone's like nephew is like, man, they keep killing Hullbreacher, ban that shit, Papa Rules Committee. Like,
That somebody Wheel of Fortune and Hullbreacher Sheldon, and so Sheldon banned it.
Yeah, I think Josh even said he was when they asked him that he was actually against the ban.
Yep.
well, he's against
he's
he's against most of the bans.
Yes.
Most bans.
Yeah.
But that, yeah, I agree. That I was watching it earlier. I was making dinner and I was watching it, like getting ready for this, and like that, yeah, that same comment where he was like, yeah, they were like, so what play testing was done? He was like, frankly, there's none.
Yeah.
Well, what the fuck are you doing?
It
Who's
was.
making these decisions?
I knew that was coming earlier in the video when he like when Jimmy first asked that, and
Yeah.
Josh said, "Oh," just started
You
laughing.
can see his face. He's like,
Yeah, you can see his face. Oh no! Why'd you ask that?
so I think there's going to be a huge, like not backlash, but like there's gonna be some interesting discourse happening in the next couple of weeks over this,
Yeah.
especially with that.
Won't be banned in 99% of like play groups.
Yeah.
I-
No one's
I don't like my play group. We even talked about because they had one other guy said he had just put a Hullbreacher in the deck, and we kind of made the discussion of like we'll keep the Hullbreachers, but we'll nerf it down to where we'll pseudo put Vanish 3 on it, so it's only on board for like 3 turns, like the Hermit.
Yeah.
That's my play group. So
Yeah.
I think that's a perfect example of where when a card becomes a problem in a play group, Rule Zero comes in.
Yes.
That's a great example.
we haven't had it played in our play group at all, and 2 of us had just put the card in the deck, and we would like to play it. See it. Like I'm gonna play it if I find it that it's way OP and it actually does just like disrupt the game that bad, then yeah, I'll pull it out. I'm not one for not pulling out the card because I had a Hydra deck that it seemed like 4 games in a row I pulled freaking Toxic Deluge and Open Hander 2, and like right in the beginning of the game, and I was able to get Zazar out with Free from the Real and win with Toxic Deluge. I'm like, end up taking it out because like I didn't build a deck to win off of Toxic Deluge. I built it to win with Hydra. But
So I have a Commander cube that I built, and I've got a lot of banned cards in the cube, like cards that I think that shouldn't be banned, just in there because I wanted to be able to try them out in Commander. And not one of them has given me issues to the point where, okay, I should probably take this out. In the cube right now, I've got, from the ban list, I have Biorhythm. Braids, I think, is in there. No, she might not be, though, because she's just not very good in the cube at all. Coalition Victory's in there. I don't own an Embercruel, so he's not in there. We've got Gifts Ungiven, Hullbreacher now, Iona, Leovold. If I had a Library of Alexandria, it would be in there. Lutri's in there. Panoptic Mirror, Paradox Engine, Primeval Titan, Prophet of Crufix, Recurring Nightmare, Ruffalos, Sundering Titan. Sway the Stars was in there, but it's just not fun, so I took it out. Sylvan Primordial, Tinker, Tolarian Academy, Upheaval, Upheaval's not in there. I took that one out. Yawgmoth's Bargain. All of those, I'm running them all inside the cube, and not one of them has caused any issues. It is a cube, so it's not like they're in like the most perfect decks for them, but they're fun to play with. Like all those cards are cards. The only one of those cards that I would consider not unbanning is Tolarian Academy, but I think it would be fine.
Well,
Yeah.
one of the things that I found out after I thought you should unban Tinker last night is that Tinker into Bolus's Citadel win the game on turn 1 is pretty good.
Well, you do need other pieces for that. Like, you need to have the Bolsa Citadel in hand or a way to tutor for it. You need to have the top.
You need Tinker.
Yeah,
That's
you need
it.
Tinker.
You
Well,
need Tinker and fast mana. And there is a lot of ways
How-
to generate 2 extra mana on turn 1.
you also need top.
You can filter to top after you get Citadel out. So if top's in your top, 5-10 cards.
But if you have double
Also, it's
land,
turn 1 and you could play like a fuck ton of cards off of it.
if you have double land though, that ends it.
Yeah, with exactly double land, you'd get screwed.
Like if you have one land and then something else and then another land, like once you hit that second land, it stops, unless you can get to top before the second land, which is odds are very low of that.
There's a lot of hoops to jump through.
Yes.
Yeah. The same thing with Tolarian Academy. Like, I run both Cradle and Sarah Sanctum in different decks, and it's like those cards are fucking stupid. I mean,
Yep.
whatever. Let the blue one fly, man.
Yeah.
Shit, it's a great card, and can we just like it's so dumb. Like, yes, it's a good card, but there are mass artifact destruction cards. There are things that can nullify that card. Like, I had a Cradle out before and I got Wrath of God, so I'm done.
Yep.
It's like this card's fucking this $1,000 card does absolutely fuck all for me.
Yep. I don't think that they would ever unban anything on the ban list that is reserve list though, which is really disappointing to me. Strictly because of the fact that the price would spike and then people would call to get it banned because it's on the reserve list, or because it would bring more attention to the reserve list than there already is, and there's so many people that want to demolish it anyways. I don't think that Tolarian Academy, there's some not even dangerous cards, like not even remotely dangerous cards on the reserve list that are on here. Like, Yawgmoth's Bargain is very strong, but I think that would be fine.
I think by unbanning problem cards, it teaches your playgroup to run more specific interaction for those cards that give you problems.
You also only
Like,
need...
one of the biggest things that I learned, because when I started out, I've only been playing Magic for 4 years now. I was that Timmy. Like, I was running all the big creatures, all the big flashy spells, and then somebody would counterspell me, I'm tapped out, they win the game the next turn. Now I run more interaction in my decks and I'm able to compete with those. I think you learn from that. I don't think it's necessarily toxic to the game.
It's a learning curve with stuff like that for sure, and but it's a learning curve that depends on the play group that you're with. Because if you're with a play group that is just all battle cruiser, you don't really need to worry about too much interaction. But if you're in a 7 to 8 power level play group, then you definitely gonna need to run more. It's just, all of these cards. The only reason that they shouldn't be played it should just be a conversation with the group and rule zeroed. Like Armageddon, you don't need to play. You shouldn't be playing it against people that don't really want to play against it. But if your play group's okay with it, for you to break it out in a game during the night, go ahead. It's not stuff that Hullbreacher doesn't need to be banned. It should just be in there are some powerful cards in my sit down at the table. This deck's a 6, but there's a Hullbreacher in it which can combo off and win the game for me. Just so you guys know, okay. But nobody actually sits down and tells you what their infinite combo is. For no matter what their combo is.
Some of my decks have a absolute fuck ton of interaction with them. But the last deck I built was my Octavia deck. I have 3 counterspells in it. That's 1 more than I normally run. And I always tap out. I'm like, why are these fucking cards even in here? Because I only go 1 speed and that's fucking full speed ahead. I shouldn't even have these in there. I just have some more shitty draw spells in here because I'm never gonna sit on mana and I'm never gonna wait to see what someone does. I'm just gonna try to fucking dump as many draw spells into the graveyard in Castle Octavia as fast as I can.
I'm the type of
And
player. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
What?
Go ahead. Finish what you're saying.
No, it's just like you. When does playing to the meta or playing to someone else doing something get in the way of what you want to achieve? If you want this balls to the wall deck, fucking build it.
Yeah.
You know, that to me, that's why I forgot who was saying it earlier. I'm arch enemy number one first and foremost because I'm just gonna go fucking 100 miles an hour and cast all this dumb shit, and then everyone has to react to what I'm doing, and then I become arch enemy because I just ramped and played big dumb cards, and here I am, and then whatever. It's the problem. It's just like I said. The problem is, when does creative deck building get in the way of the meta? You know.
Yes.
Yeah.
You get
Let's
like
play
One thing,
squirrels.
if you're playing with Thor and Thor
Or
Black,
vice
you're
versa.
not having trouble with Hullbreacher. There's so many removal spells on black and so many ways to remove stuff on
Yeah.
black. You should not have a problem with Hullbreacher at all.
I mean, there's plenty of removal spells in every color. You can
yeah.
think of
I have
both.
red, yeah,
Yeah.
red.
There's
Red.
even removal in blue, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
You built that bitch.
Pongify.
Reality
Exile,
shift.
Ah.
Yeah. There's plenty.
Oh yeah.
That's stupid because we're just fucking around and we can name 10 cards that can get rid of it. But
Yeah.
to some people, it's such a fucking problem that it's like,
Yeah.
get rid of it. No.
And
It's funny because like I've noticed on Twitter lately, since it's been banned on Twitter, a lot of the, we'll say, popular content creators. Not that we're not popular. We're all very popular here. Some of the more,
Pool of content creators.
we'll say some of those guys are all for it. Like I've
Yup.
noticed everybody.
Yep.
What's that?
So now all of us have 1,000 subscribers.
Hey, man, we just got there. Okay, we're riding off of this guy's coattails here.
I've been loving like every time I like a couple times or once a day or so I'll check to see how many subs you guys have because it's very fun to watch because we're
Yeah.
pretty much like gaining them at the same speed.
Yeah, we're super close. And it's been fun. Like it's been fun to just. I mean, I love. Like, we got into doing this. I don't know, 2 years ago now, a year and a half ago, 2 years, and like we're just psyched that people want to listen and like care at all what we have to like. We're just three
Yeah.
assholes from New England. Like no one gives a shit about us. Like,
Yep.
like, but it's so funny. Like I'm going off on a little tangent here. We went to Command Fest DC in December, right before the pandemic hit, and I walked around. Like I have a little tripod mount that my camera's on right now. And I walked around with the camera, and I have this, I don't even know what word it is, but I have this like little boom microphone that comes off of the camera. And people were like, someone came over to us and they were like, "Can we get an autograph?" And we were like, "Why?" They were like, "I don't know. You look like you guys look like content creators." And we were like, "We are, but do you even know who we are?" They're like, "No, but we just want to get your autograph." And we were like, there's a video of it on the channel. There's like a 3-day like vlog we did. And there's that hop happens at the end of like the third day. And
That's
like
so
one of the guys,
funny.
Eddie, his face is like, "What the fuck?" But anyway, but yeah,
I was watching y'all, but y'all were bumping elbows with some high rollers there, though.
we talked to a few. We were surprised people talked to it. Like we got to talk to we talked to the professor, which I like fangirled out over. We talked to some of the guys from Loading Ready Run. We talked to everybody from Commander Versus. Like, yeah, we were, and like those people, and like even us. Like if you just went up to them, we were like, "Hey, can we just do like a quick like 2-minute interview?" They're like, "Yeah, of course. Like, let's go." So
That's so fun.
that was a fun day. That was a fun. I miss those events. I can't
Yeah.
wait for those to come back.
Next time we have one on the
Command
East
Fest.
Coast. Next time there's one on the East Coast, I'll see you there.
Dude, yeah, we will be at the Providence ones. We'll be
Yes.
at the anything in Boston.
Oh yeah.
We'll be at DC. Like, we'll go anywhere.
I've never been to one, but if they open one, I'm definitely gonna try to get the money to go.
We're doing, and it's Kevin. Actually, my fiance and I are looking at coming out to Chicago at some point soon. So we'll hit you up when we come out.
My standing offer is that if you come to Chicago, you can come play some EDH. I manage a delicious restaurant. You get a free meal. Come on out, play some EDH, get a delicious meal. We're right down. My restaurant's right downtown. It's extremely busy, frustratingly busy sometimes, but
When I was playing with you guys,
Hey, nothing
last time I was playing with you guys, you and one of my patrons, Jake, were talking about Malort. Is that what it's called?
Malort. Oh, it's right there. There's the Malort
Oh, that's the
logo.
logo.
Yeah, that one.
All right, when I come out to Chicago, I'm expecting some Malort.
Yeah. I don't drink, man, and I'm willing to let's go.
It's a-
Like I'm.
That Malort life is a rough life, man. It is. It's like
Can you only get it in Chicago? Is that the thing?
I think they ship it now, but they only make it in Chicago. And it's like the thing I love about it is it tastes the same the first time and the last time you drink it. It tastes like fucking getting rejected by your fucking grade school crush.
But does it taste the same going in as it does going out?
I gotta. It's. I don't know if it's the sign that I'm a fucking functional alcoholic, but I have not thrown up in about a decade.
Oh,
from
good,
drinking.
good.
And it's,
Good.
I think the last time I threw up in a cab into my book bag. And it was like the worst day ever. Like I think I got into a fight with my girlfriend at the time, and like
Oh,
I was in a cab
no.
going home, and I was just like, "Oh shit!" Ah. And then I threw the book bag out in the alley as I was walking home.
Yeah,
It
that's
was
a good
awful.
idea.
Yeah, I've gone through all my getting shit-faced days when I was in the military. I'm good now. I don't do that no more.
I just did it in college. I'm done. I tried to do a backflip into a sand trap at a golf course once, and I'm a big dude, so like I didn't jump. I just went, "Ah," and that was it. Ever since that day, I was like, I don't need to drink anymore. I'm good.
We have the C2E2 here, the comic book / anime / it's like the big nerd convention in Chicago. And me and my friend went one year. He got drunk as balls. He spent probably $1,000 on like figures and cards, and he spent like $1,000 there. His wife came and like saw his bags and like immediately took him out. She left with him. She's like, "We're leaving. We're not spending more money." I hopped the fence, ripped my pants, and then somehow got back to their car, and then yeah. Oh, also he went to the bathroom, went outside to smoke a cigarette, and just like I said, bop. He
Oh my
fell into a
gosh.
bush, had like a fucking spider web in his head. It was a good day.
That's the
Yeah.
best way to like just describe any big dude falling is just because that's all it is. It's immediate.
Looking at chat right now, were any of you guys inside the MTG Content Creator Awards nominations?
Nope.
No?
We got someone put in like a thing for us to be nominated, but we never nothing ever went.
Got you. Because the guy running it's in the
Not
chat
even-
right now. MTG
Oh, hey,
strategist.
how's it going?
How you
How
doing?
you doing?
Really looking forward. Really looking forward to seeing when that comes out. We were lucky
If
enough
there
to be
were awards for
nominated.
micro content channels, then we might be on it, but other than that, we're not even close to be considered. We're still running up 22 subscribers at the moment. We're still trying to work our way up.
You're getting
Start somewhere, baby.
Yeah. Also, for anyone that's watching, if you go into the description of this video, you should see everyone's links to their YouTube channels. Yeah, they're there. We're good. So if you want to check everybody out here, make sure to check in that link down below.
I highly recommend the GMGC's deck text because Kevin's intros are always hilarious. when you intro a deck and you like tell a little mini story about it,
Yeah, it bees like that, man.
it's
Thank you.
hilarious. It's hilarious.
Well, hopefully we can get more. I've been putting up stuff on our channel recently, but I just got finished moving, got my setup all set back up, so I'm hoping to do more. We haven't done a deck test for my channel in a while, so I'm hoping to get one done. I know I got about 2 or so few EDH 1v1s. Hopefully one day we'll get together, get the pod going, but we're working on it. we're still trying to get content pumped out.
MTG strategist said, "I'm just fanboying."
What a lad.
I mean, we're a bunch of strapping young content creators.
Oh
Yeah.
yes.
I had my friend do this mural behind me while my wife was at work.
Oh, your friend made that?
Yeah.
That's really sick.
Super fast, too. I might add. He
Yeah.
did it like in fucking 3 hours.
I've been admiring that since I joined. Like, that's so sick.
It's impressive.
That's a badass mural.
So I asked him to do me draw me a drawing for a playmat, and then he would never do it. He's like, "Oh, I'm too busy. I'm too busy." So then one day we were both off. I was like, "Hey, bro, you want to come do a mural at my house? Like, let's go." And I said I gave him a Lord of the Pit card to like study, and then he came over um, with another friend of ours and did it super fast. And then I was like, "My wife's gonna be real mad about this," so I got drunk. So she was more mad about that than the mural.
Genius.
Dude, that's like spot. I've never seen this card before. It's spot on.
No, it's no fucking joke, bro. It's no fucking joke. And he does a lot of murals around Chicago too. So
Yeah,
he has
wow.
like this. He has a mural up at this like really good hot dog stand in Chicago called Fatso's Last Dance. And
Is that Seth McKinnon?
what's up?
Is that Seth McKinnon art?
No, it's Mark Tedden.
Oh, yeah, it makes sense.
And yeah, he's a real solid guy. He's a little bit of a creep, but he's a real solid guy.
That's a whole other conversation.
Yeah. That's Philippe's.
All right, what time is it now? We've been going for a while.
Almost 10. Almost
Yeah.
10.
Yeah.
It's 9 o'clock.
Yeah, we've been going on for
Or-
85 minutes so far. So 5 minutes until it's 9 o'clock, or 5 minutes until it's an hour and a half in total. Wow. What was I going to say? We gotta get a gameplay video going at some point soon.
Yeah.
We gotta get Dang in there.
Four of us right here.
Yeah, we got a pod right here.
Let's
If
go.
I didn't get to work, I would totally be down. Of course, my wife might kill me, but that's okay.
I've got a new webcam
Maybe
coming.
a patron makes a deck for each of you, and you play it against each
Ooh,
other.
that could be really
I
fun.
would love that.
That could
I
be
would
really
100%
fun.
do that.
I have no patrons, so
All right,
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
We have four, and it's us. It's the four of us. Oh, it's the three of us and my fiance.
I will. I've got a couple patrons. I could ask. Let's see. We could ask Tristan. We could ask Jake, and we could ask Grist if they want to make some deck lists. We also got Satanic, who could make a deck list. I'll hit them all up and see if they want to do that.
I'm 100% down. You tell me when and where, and I'm here.
Perfect.
yeah, I'm 90% of the time done by 6 p.m. Central. So
That's so nice.
So, are you on the East Coast?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in Connecticut.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I think we probably talked about that before.
Yeah. So
All right.
also at some point I gotta either come to Rhode Island or you guys gotta come here and we
Yeah,
gotta.
I'll come out there, man.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'll try. I'm unemployed right now, so like.
Oh,
I can go
perfect! Come
wherever I want.
through. I-
DJ, we gotta get him in there next time. With
Yeah.
The boys.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
So I just bought a house this year, and we get like our big friend group from me and my buddies all went to UConn, and I played a lot of Magic there, and our play group there will come to my house, and we just have a blowout weekend where everyone's just getting hammered and playing cards all night.
That's cool.
It's fun.
Yeah. We haven't. Our play group hasn't met since the pandemic yet, so we're still kind of on the tail end of that. But
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a few months for us. We haven't really got all together and has a few games in, but we usually try. We had a while before we would try to get at least the first weekend of every month. We try to get together, but
That's nice.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that bull. So.
we used to do
Yeah,
it every
we-
Sunday.
My LGS has been open for EDH on Sundays pretty much for the last 3 months. They've been going for. So I've been going there a lot of the times. I'll go there. I try to get there more often than I can, so I end up going only 2 or 3 times a month. But I've been getting a lot of EDH in there, which is nice.
One of the cool things about things being shut down is I have 5 decks built that I have played a total of 2 games with.
Yep.
I'm just really excited to jam the new cards from all the sets that have come out.
Oh, right before the pandemic started, the week before it started, I finished building a Send Triplets deck. The absolute worst deck to build at the beginning of pandemic.
I've built 2 control other people's stuff decks since the pandemic hit, and it's the dumbest thing. 'Cause you're like, cool. I better find all these pieces of paper to write down everything I'm taking from you. Like,
Yeah.
it was so bad.
One of those.
They're fun though. I love and it was funny because I remember like earlier I said I hate when people do it to me, but I
It's so much fun.
love doing it to other people. Oh,
Yeah, I mean, I made a mistake one time of playing Ninja deck. And I think I want to say it's potent or one of the cards. I said choose the top 3 cards of target player's deck. Forgetting that when I pushed that, I put that card in the deck was for my deck, not other people's deck. It's like, oh, target player, I could do anybody else's deck. Like, no, dummy, you're supposed to move for your deck. The top card manipulate them.
Yeah.
Realize how hard it is to try to do on somebody else's deck across spell table, and yeah, I was
that's
like,
that's too impressive, man. We got to ban it. We can't have that. Skill pads.
Fuck with my deck. It's gotta
Tell
go.
him Henry, get him on the phone.
Manipulation of other people's decks.
Call his cousin. He'll ban it. He'll get it.
Yeah.
I love how we've come up with this fictional person of Sheldon's cousin
Yeah.
who's just super pissed off
Yeah,
about
it's
everything.
Connor. It's Connor. When he came in, it was Sheldon's cousin.
Yeah, there you go.
The worst part is that's almost certainly how Sheldon decides what cards to ban.
Right? Right? Unbelievable.
Listen to your nephew.
Hey Sheldon, I didn't buy a Black Lotus. I need that one on the ban list, bud.
He's like, done. Just off the list. Jeweled Lotus is next.
Oh, I need to get at least like so many of my decks would love a Jeweled Lotus. I just want one copy to throw in my cube.
I love it. I'll play it all the time.
I haven't gotten
Good
one
card.
yet.
It's a great card. Great card.
I opened like 2 or 3 Commander Legends CBs, collector booster boxes, and didn't pull a single Jeweled Lotus. Extremely disappointing.
That's
What-
Oh, go ahead.
Oh. What's your favorite terrible card?
My favorite terrible card? Well, I mean, the logo for the channel is based off of Dingus Egg, which is an unplayable card. I have. Do you guys know? Did you guys hear about Hunter Pence? The Jeweled Lotus. Hunter Pence is like a baseball player who's pretty famous, and he went to a celebrity softball game or something, wearing I think it was a BGS 9 Black Lotus on a necklace.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to get a graded Dingus Egg and do the same thing. So I looked on eBay today, and I could pick up like a 7.5 beta Dingus Egg for like $280, but that's a lot for a card that
That's a lot for a joke.
it's a lot for a joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
I bought a fucking pair of gym shoes and a tracksuit as a joke, and that was like a fucking $200 joke.
As a comedian, I can completely respect that.
You gotta commit, baby.
You gotta commit.
You gotta commit.
I don't know what my favorite bad card is, but Deflecting Palm is probably one of my favorite, like, not played a ton, but when you do play it, it's hilarious.
Yeah, fantastic.
I don't know if you consider it a bad card, but
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, like if you consider Possibility Storm a bad card, that's one of our favorites.
Love Possibility Storm. I love that card.
We like to play shenanigans in our play group where we put that in the command zone. It leads for a very interesting night. We've learned though, don't ever do it with more than 4 people. Because we did with the 8-person pod. It was the only game we played that night.
Yeah, that makes sense. We did one game on the channel where we would like each person picked a random permanent to put in the command zone that's not a legendary creature because they just wanted to see the effect in the command zone. And the game ended up being really cool. It was Hostility, Bolas' Citadel, Prince of Thralls, and I cannot remember what the last one was. But I was playing Prince of Thralls, and the way the game ended, it was the coolest ending I've ever had in a game. So I can't remember the exact specifics of it, but I ended up losing on 2 my own Phyrexian Arena, and my opponent that was left had, like, it was just me and one other person left, and the opponent that was left had 0 permanents in play. 0, because they were all on my side of the battlefield because of, like, Prince of Thralls doing its thing. And They were at like 2 life, 0 permanence, and won the game. And I died to my own Phyrexian Arena because I couldn't, in Grixis, kill my own enchantment.
I've died to my own Bitter Blossom, my own Arena, and I died to my own Kothafed so many times. My favorite terrible card is Baneful Omen. It's a dumb black enchantment.
It is a great enchantment.
It's like I cast it one time, and the next turn I flopped a fucking Draco, and it's like all my opponents lose 16 life. I'm living the dream. It's a black enchantment that says reveal at the end of your turn, reveal the top card of your library. Opponents lose life equal to the mana value. Fantastic.
I was.
But it's a 7 flop. It is a 7 is a 7 mana value, fucking mono black enchantment with triple black in it.
Hey,
And it is hilarious.
it's free off of Yannette. I run it in my Yannette
you
deck.
It's also great in like a Yuriko deck because you're already doing that. You already have the top deck manipulation going.
You're
I
a
love
fucking
bad
piece
cards.
of shit deck. Just so you know.
Yeah.
I love bad cards because like one of my favorite things to do is just draw on cards
Yep.
that are like worth 5 cents.
Oh, do I
So,
have any Connor masterpieces near me? Let me take a look here.
Oh yeah.
I just lit a card on fire yesterday for a joke, so I gotta understand that.
I've eaten cards many a time as a joke, just cause. But my favorite card is Live Fast, and I just wrote Eat Ass and Pen right after it. Just like stupid stuff like that is so funny.
Is your voice really, really deep, or are you witness protection?
No, my voice is just really deep over recordings.
Is this one of those things where your face is like blocked out because someone's gonna come find you?
Yeah.
No, my
Okay.
face
We
is
got
blacked
the
out
lip,
because I wake
Try
up
again.
at 3 a.m. for work.
He doesn't want. He doesn't want Sheldon. He doesn't want his uncle to notice he's here. He doesn't want his
Yeah,
uncle to
that's right,
know
yeah,
he's here. He doesn't want Sheldon to know.
Sheldon can't know.
I'll be
Uncle
right back.
Sheldon can't know.
That's so funny. Oh man.
Speaking
I
of
don't-
Eureka, I run a Eureka.
I hate Yuriko. Actually, I don't hate Yuriko. I love Yuriko. I just never like playing against it.
I played against it the other day, and it was fucking obnoxious.
I know.
Alright,
Oh, there we go. We got a Connor original right here. Yeah. Big Chungus Island.
Nice. I love altars. Altars are great.
Oh, I
So
got
they made secret players.
this altar right here. This is currently my favorite commander,
Oh, nice.
but I might be switching it out to Lonus. But we got Riku of 2 Reflections with Mew and Mewtwo.
That's awesome.
Right?
The first CDH game I ever played
I like
was
that. That's nice.
TJ's deck, and I was like way too drunk, and I got so anxious that I was gonna throw up over a $5,000 like deck of cards. I was freaking out the whole time.
Nice.
That's one of my favorite altars I have is the Yellow Ranger and a bunch of other like Yellow Ranger altars for Marisi.
I like that. That's
Which
cool.
is one of my new favorite decks of all time.
This is my Slimefoot altar. He's done like a black exploitation 1970s pimp, Slimfoot the pimp.
That's so cool.
Oh, fuck, Kevin, I found this. I have a literal pile of cards. If you could see my, hold on, if I could just excuse the rest of the mess over here, but like this lovely ass pile of cards. And I noticed I have this. I know you run. I don't know if you still run it. Oh god, now I messed up my whole camera.
It's all art, baby.
I'm a professional. Where is it? This guy, the etched foil
Oh,
casket.
Yes, yes.
I'll send that your way because I'm never gonna play this card. So if you want it, I'll send it your way. And I also have the other one you have with it. So
You got to sign it before you send it to him, though.
it'll just ruin everything about it.
Dude, some people just won't sign expensive cards.
So the kid who asked us to sign his cards at Command Fest they were like good cards. Like one of them was a walking ballista.
Oh wow.
One of them was a. Funny enough, one of them was a blood moon. Like he was like, please sign these. And we're like, why do you want this? This is so crazy.
One of my
It's about the sentimental value. Like, I
guess.
love having people sign things, like, even if it destroys the value. Like, one of my buddies gave me a, God, what's the, black red fetch?
not Blood
Bloodstained
Crypt.
Mire?
Yeah, Bloodstained Mire.
Yeah. He gave me a French one for my birthday, and I was like, dude, that's so sweet. Like, can you sign it? Like, I want, like, you gave it to me as a gift. Like, I'm literally never gonna get rid of the card because of sentimental value.
That's cool.
Like, some people just don't wanna
Yeah.
deface the card or whatever.
One of my patron tiers, the $10 tier, you get. I'll send out signed cards to whoever's in that tier every month. That's like roughly around the same price as the $10. Sometimes a little less, sometimes a little more. And so, like, one of my patrons has gotten. He's probably got a stack of signed cards by me about this thick at this point. And I think the most expensive one in there now is a Feldegriff, which is his group hug commander, which is now like $30 or something. He's gotten some good, like, so like he just got a stack of stuff signed by me. And actually, I got to announce the giveaway. My giveaway just ended, and I haven't done the video yet to announce it. But whoever's winning the giveaway is getting this signed Soul Ring, signed Arcane Signet, Faithless Looting, Sign in Blood, Counterspell, Crows and Grip, Swords of Plowshare, and this signed playmat.
They can build an Elder Dingus themed commander deck with all those
Every
staples.
Oh,
every
yeah.
card signed.
Every card is signed. I gotta announce that. I've got the list ready to go. I just have to do the actual video for that. I'll probably do that after this, because that'll only take a couple minutes. So if you were inside, if anyone watching this is inside of the giveaway, then you'll find out tomorrow.
The suspense.
But we
We got some
are
giveaways we're doing.
we are at after 10 o'clock at this point, so we should probably call it quits at some point here.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah,
gotta go take my dog out for a walk.
Yeah. I thank you guys for hopping in here and for talking with us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having us.
It was fun.
That was
I'll hit you guys up about the gameplay that we were just talking about a little earlier, like probably
Yeah.
tomorrow.
That works for me, man.
Perfect.
I'm down always.
All right. Let me go and
Everyone,
end.
make sure to go sub to all these guys. If
Yeah.
You're not already.
If you're anyone that's still here, make sure to be subbed. Everyone's down in the description, and my sub thing should be like right in front of your face. So just click all those buttons. Also, Portable Hole is very funny, MTG Strategist. That card is cool.
What?
Yeah, I heard none of that. Are you underwater?
You sounded so muffled.
Yeah. So as we say in Champions of Paris, you should knife hand go check it out.
MTG Strategist said, nice show. Thank you. Thank you. And MTG Strategist, I cannot wait to see the Content Creator Awards once that's all set up and ready to go. I'm excited about that. Those are always very fun. If you haven't
these
seen...
four right here, sweeping the awards.
Yeah. It should just be us four
Yes.
winning every category from now on.
I'll take fourth place. I'm okay with that.
Or you should make a new category called Best Live YouTube Stream with 4 original semi to fully bearded people. And 1 faceless person.
And one
and we'll all
faceless
win.
person. Yeah, Connor's got a beard
Who
too.
may or
We're
may not
good.
be Sheldon Memory's his cousin.
Sheldon Memory's cousin's got a beard.
Yeah.
Not the shit for work, jeez.
But if you guys haven't seen the show, like last year's, it's on YouTube, and they do a great job. It's very funny, and they get a bunch of people involved. It's good. Highly recommend. But yeah, let's call it.
All right.
All right.
Have a good night, everybody.